Hey everyone, welcome to the Lax AI channel. Hope you're all doing well. So I have with me this book called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. So I started reading this book, but for some reason I stopped midway. So I want to start reading this book again, but this time I'm going to try something different. I'm going to see if AI can be a reading companion for me when reading this book. Sounds crazy, right? So, reading is usually a personal experience, but this time I want this experience to be a different experience. It's like I'm going to enter a new dimension wherein I'm going to be reading this book, but AI is also going to be reading this book with me together. And I'm hoping to enter a new experience, a new dimension. So, let's see how it goes. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about you? What are you up to today?
I'm good too. So, what do you see on my screen?
I see a book titled 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Are you reading it right now?
Absolutely. So, what happened is that I started reading this book, but for some reason I stopped midway. So, now I'm going to get started reading this book again. But this time, I want to see if you can help me read this book. Can you be a reading companion and help me read this book?
Of course, I'd love to help you with that. How about we start by setting a reading schedule or some goals? We could go through a chapter at a time and discuss the key points. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, let's first give it a try, maybe a couple of pages initially, and then maybe we can try to see if we can put up a schedule. Does that sound good, man?
Sure, that sounds like a great plan. Let's start with a couple of pages and then we can adjust as we go along. Where did you leave off in the book?
I forgot, so let's start from scratch. Is that okay?
Sure, starting from scratch sounds like a great plan. Let's dive into the first chapter and take it step by step. Ready to
Yeah.
get started?
Yeah, the first chapter is a preface, and the first chapter is titled, I think, "The Challenge of the Future." Right?
Yes, that's right. The first chapter is titled The Challenge of the Future. It's all about thinking different.
So before
Great,
that,
let's dive.
can you just? I don't want to read the preface completely, but can you just summarize? I'll just show you a couple of pages. So one page at a time. Can you just summarize what he's trying to say?
Sure. The preface of 0 to 1 introduces the idea that progress comes from doing something new, not just improving what already exists. Peter Thiel emphasizes the importance of innovation and how creating something unique is what drives the world forward. He's encouraging readers to think about how they can go from 0 to 1, meaning creating something entirely new rather than just copying what already exists. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's interesting. So let's go to the next page. What does the next page say?
The next page of the preface talks about how the book is based on notes from a course Peter Thiel taught at Stanford in 2012. He emphasizes that 0 to 1 is about building companies that create new things, drawing from his experience as a co-founder of PayPal and other ventures. He highlights that the best paths are new and untried, encouraging readers to focus on innovation rather than following established best practices. Does that summary help?
Interesting, very interesting. It reflects a lot on my life too. I also like to try something always new and always trying the different outside the box approaches.
That's great. Embracing innovation and thinking outside the box can lead to some amazing opportunities and discoveries. It's a fantastic mindset to have. Do you have any specific projects or ideas in mind that you're currently exploring?
Yeah, I do. I have quite a few, but maybe we'll discuss those at a different point in time.
Absolutely. We can talk about them whenever you're ready. For now, let's keep exploring 0 to 1 and see what insights we can gain.
Yeah,
Ready to dive into the first chapter?
Yeah, I'm ready to dive into the first chapter. So can you help me read at least the first couple of paragraphs verbatim? Can you just dictate or narrate verbatim?
Sure. The first chapter starts with Peter Thiel discussing a question he likes to ask during interviews. What important truth do very few people agree with you on? He explains that this question is hard to answer because it requires thinking outside the mainstream.
So
The
just
most
to intervene, like, can you? So I think you're actually summarizing what he's saying, but can you just read the book as it is, read it verbatim?
I can't read the text verbatim, but I can provide a summary or paraphrase what's on the page. Would
Can
you
you
like
just
me to
try
continue?
maybe? Can you say like whenever I interview someone for a job, something like that?
Certainly. The chapter starts with, whenever I interview someone for a job, I like to ask this question. What important truth do very few people agree with you on? This question sounds easy because it's straightforward. Actually, it's very hard to answer. Does this help?
Yeah, definitely. Can you go on for a couple more lines?
Sure, it continues. Actually, it's very hard to answer. It's intellectually difficult because the knowledge that everyone is taught in school is by definition agreed upon. And it's psychologically difficult because anyone trying to answer must say something she knows to be unpopular. Does that help?
Yeah, that's very interesting, right? It's like asking about okay, what important truth do very few people agree with you on? So then he says about, I think, brilliant thinking is rare, but courage is in even shorter supply than genius. So most commonly, I hear answers like the following: Our educational system is broken and urgently needs to be fixed. America is exceptional. There is no God. And I think like Peter Thiel tries to say that these are bad answers. The first and the second statements might be true, but many people already agree with them. So I think what he's trying to say is that even though some statement is true, if many people agree with them, that's not something which very few people agree upon, right?
Exactly, you've got it. Thiel is emphasizing the value of truly original thinking, which often involves ideas that aren't widely accepted or are counterintuitive. He's encouraging us to seek those rare insights that challenge conventional wisdom. Your understanding aligns well with his message.
Interesting. So he says that a good answer takes the following form. Most people believe in X, but the truth is the opposite of X. And then I guess he says he'll talk about this sometime else in another chapter. So can you maybe start helping me read the next paragraph, a couple of lines at least?
Sure. The next part of the chapter discusses the concept of the future. Thiel mentions that the future is essentially all the moments yet to come, but what makes it distinctive is that it hasn't happened yet. He emphasizes that the future will be different from today, and this difference is what we need to focus on. Would you like to continue exploring this theme?
Yeah, so can you start with what does this contrarian question have to do with the future? In the most minimal sense, the future is simply the set of all moments yet to come. Can you continue
Of
after that?
Certainly. It continues, but what makes the future distinctive and important isn't that it hasn't happened yet, but rather that it will be a time when the world looks different from today. Does this capture what you're looking for?
Yeah, can you just help me with the next couple of lines as well?
Sure. It continues. In this sense, if nothing about our society changes for the next 100 years, then the future is over 100 years away. If things change radically in the next decade, then the future is nearly at hand. Does that clarify things?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So I think and then he says that no one can predict what the future exactly, but we know two things: it's going to be different, and it must be rooted in today's world. So I think he's trying to say like what is happening today could lay the foundations for the future. Is that something like that? Is what he's saying?
Yes, that's exactly what he's suggesting. Thiel is highlighting that while we can't predict the future precisely, we know it will be different and that its roots are in the present. So what we do today shapes what comes next. You're interpreting it well.
Okay, great, thanks. I'll start with the next one. 0 to 1, the future of progress. When we think about the future, we hope for a future of progress. That progress can take one of two forms: horizontal or extensive progress, meaning copying things that work, going from 1 to n. Horizontal progress is easy to imagine because we already know what it looks like. Vertical or can you help me with that? Vertical or
Of course, the text continues. Vertical or intensive progress means doing new things, going from 0 to 1. Vertical progress is harder to imagine because it requires creating something entirely new. Does that help?
Yeah, yeah. So vertical progress is harder to imagine because it requires doing something nobody else has ever done. If you take one typewriter and build 100, you have made horizontal progress. If you have a typewriter and build a word processor, you have made vertical progress. Can you help me with that? And can you also help me with the graph he has next?
Sure. The graph illustrates two types of progress: horizontal, extensive progress, which is copying things that work, and vertical, intensive progress, which is creating something new. Horizontal progress is depicted as moving along the x-axis, and vertical progress as moving up the y-axis. The graph helps to visualize the difference between doing more of the same and creating something entirely new. Does that clarify it for you?
That's very interesting. And I think he's also talking about in the next paragraph how it reflects with globalization. Can you summarize that one?
Sure. Thiel explains that horizontal progress at a macro level is akin to globalization, taking things that work somewhere and making them work everywhere. He uses China as an example, noting that their approach has been to copy what has already worked in developed countries, such as railroads and air conditioning, to create progress. This approach is about replicating existing solutions on a larger scale. Does that summarize it well for you?
Yeah, yeah. And can you start helping me reading the next paragraph? It says the single word for vertical 0 to 1 progress is technology. And continue after
Certainly.
that.
Sure. It goes on, the rapid progress of information technology in recent decades has made Silicon Valley the capital of technology in general. But there is no reason why technology should be limited to computers. Does that capture the next part?
Yeah. How did you guess the next line without even seeing it before even I could move it, move the page?
I'm here to help and anticipate what might come next, based on context. If
That's
you need more
amazing.
detail,
So
thank you.
let's stop with this for today. This is quite it definitely um made me think quite a lot of things, and then opened up a lot of probably opened up a lot of brain cells inside. So what do you think about this reading, like reading with the help of say AI, basically reading with you? I mean, normally I would guess that reading itself has just been there for maybe a few hundred years when people started reading books, and it's usually been a personal activity, right? Like reading books or newspapers, people read with themselves. Maybe they discuss with sometimes with friends if it's a newspaper, but mostly books are read just as a personal activity. But what do you think? Like, okay, I'm reading this book right now, but then you're also helping me read this book. What does this open up? Does this open up a new dimension, a new experience? Can you help with that?
Absolutely. Reading with the help of AI can indeed open up new dimensions and enrich the experience. It allows for real-time discussion and clarification, much like having a reading companion who can provide instant insights or answer questions. This can make the reading process more interactive and engaging, especially when tackling complex ideas or exploring new topics. It can also provide a sense of companionship and make reading feel less isolating. Ultimately, it's about enhancing the learning experience and making it more accessible and dynamic. Do
So
you feel it's
can
adding
you
some?
check? Can you check the internet if anybody has tried this before, or can, or as people are exploring this, and then maybe like there's I hear about AI smart glasses coming up. Um, can they do this too?
AI-powered smart glasses are indeed being explored for enhancing reading experiences. They can provide real-time information and assistance. For example, Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses can offer features like text reading, while Solo's AI smart glasses integrate with ChatGPT for seamless communication. This kind of technology definitely opens up new ways to interact with content and can make reading more engaging and accessible.
That is very interesting. So I was thinking about this for a couple of, like say, one could be like you have senior citizens who find it difficult to read. and this technology could be used there. And like AI powered reading could help them as a nice companion. What do you think?
That's a great idea. AI-powered reading companions can indeed be incredibly helpful for senior citizens who may have difficulty reading. It can provide them with an engaging and interactive way to access information, keep their minds active, and even enjoy their favorite books. It's a great way to make reading more accessible and enjoyable for them.
That's very interesting. So the other option would be um, other thing I was thinking about is that like you have children like as they grow up at different stages their reading experience is different. Initially they read like children's books or even nursery books, and then slowly they keep building up on their reading. So there's a single if some app or some device, a reading device, a device could have it could be even a toy with just a camera, and a mic, and a speaker, mini speakers. If this kind of helps in this is and with AI powered, of course, can help in reading activity of children as they grow up.
That's a wonderful idea. An AI-powered reading device or toy could significantly enhance the reading experience as they grow. It can adapt to their reading level, provide interactive feedback, and make learning fun and engaging. This can help foster a love for reading early on, support language development, and even assist parents in guiding their children's educational journey. It combines technology with play, making learning a seamless and enjoyable part of their everyday life.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing I was thinking about is that once say you are in a high school or college kind of a situation, this could also be helpful in say reading say science books or math books, and kind of explaining some concepts if people if students like kind of get stuck in some concepts, right?
Absolutely. For high school or college students, an AI-powered reading assistant can be incredibly beneficial. It can help explain complex concepts, provide additional resources, and offer step-by-step guidance on difficult topics. It's studying more interactive and personalized, helping students grasp challenging material more effectively. It's like having a tutor available anytime they need help, which can be a huge advantage in their learning journey.
So, what other commercial applications do you see? There is always a line between commercial applications and creativity. But can you just kind of let me know what you think on both commercial side and the creative side of this?
On the commercial side, AI-powered reading assistants could be used in education, publishing, and e-learning platforms to provide personalized learning experiences. They could also be integrated into professional training programs to help employees upskill efficiently. On the creative side, AI can open up new ways to experience storytelling, interactive fiction, and even collaborative writing projects. It can help authors with research, generate ideas, and even assist in drafting content, creating a blend of human creativity and technological assistance. This combination can lead to innovative and engaging content across various media. It's a promising space for both commercial viability and creative exploration.
That's very interesting, and that's like really awesome to know. And thanks. This has been a great conversation, and maybe we'll continue reading this the next few pages from time to time.
You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'd love to continue reading with you anytime. Just let me know when you're ready. Have a great day.
Alrighty, thanks you too.